When we're lighting a scene, part of what really sells the rendering is making sure that the exterior lights look like they're on. In this scene, I've got lights that come down from the pendant fixtures in the carport and also lights over the entry walkway. There's also lights inside the house, really making it look like it's lit inside. Now what I need to do is turn on the can lights, and I'm going to do this for the cans over that entry bridge because we can just see them under the soffit. The bulbs inside those pendant fixtures may be too far up to show, although having them show a little bit lit would help. Here's how I'll make this work. I'm going to pull up my material editor by pressing M. And in my scene, I've got my glass can lights over here in the scene materials. I'll double-click on it, and there's that material framed in view 1. Right now, when I double-click on the material, we can see that it's got just a diffuse color. What I'll do is take this bitmap and drag the output node onto the material. And I'll let it go, and in this case I'm going to choose the additional color map. This light, or this material, now looks bright by that same color. Here's what it's actually doing. When we scroll down in the Arc and Design and into the Self-Illumination section, what we can see is that we have the option of a self-illumination and a glow. In our special purpose maps then, we can see that the additional color map is governed by that image. The self-illumination color then can come from that image as well, dragging it over as an instance, or we can do more with it here in that self-illumination section. I'll turn on self-illumination, and the difference in this is that right now it simply looks lit. In the self-illumination, once it's on, we can tell it to have a value and even project light forward in the scene. If we check illuminates the scene when using Final Gather, we can actually light from this surface. I'm going to try it like it is, without having it give off light, and see if it's bright enough. I'll pull up my render frame window, and I'll put in a region, focusing in just on those can lights. I'll hit render, and we'll see if they show at all in the rendering. What we can see in here is that they're still very dark in the soffit. We should see little slivers of light. I'll go back to my material editor, hitting Escape, and then M for materials. In the self-illumination section, I'm going to put in a physical units. Unit list didn't seem to do it, so I'm going to run a physical unit in here of, well, let's try 6,000 and see if it's bright enough. We can also choose a color, either by a temperature Kelvin, by an image, or if we choose by a particular predefined color. I'll render one more time and see if they're bright. This is getting better. Now we can see just little bits of that light. This is a place where actually I'll go back to a full-size render and try it. Alternately, we can do a blow-up in here. I'll use this region, sizing it down and focusing on those lights. I'll go into a shaded view, zoom in on those lights, and hit render. And in this case, it'll run a full-size render, blowing up in that section. As we can see as that render develops, those lights really look like they're on. Their color and their rings are showing, and we definitely get the idea in here that those lights are casting the light we see on the wall. It's a subtle reinforcement. If we see the light and the light doesn't visibly look on, it looks odd. It's not that we need to see a lot of detail. These are only 256 square. But really, we just need to see that the lights are, well, looking lit, and we'll believe it in a rendering. I can do the same thing, if need be, on those other can fixtures, although at the moment they're long enough and far enough away I'm not too worried about it. These lights, though, with their lenses clearly visible, definitely need the self-illuminating material, and I've governed both additional color and self-illumination by the map and then cranked up their value, but I haven't let them contribute Final Gather in the scene.